You are scrolling through old photos. A song comes on. Suddenly you are somewhere else. A kitchen that no longer exists. A summer that ended years ago. Your chest tightens. Your eyes sting. You call this a memory. But the real answer is far stranger. What you are feeling was never designed to make you sad. It was designed to keep you alive. Nostalgia is not a mood. It is a survival tool your ancestors could not live without. And your brain still uses it exactly the way it did 50,000 years ago. Why would evolution build a feeling around loss?
To understand this, you have to go back further than you think. Not to your childhood. To the earliest humans who left Africa in small scattered bands. They faced a brutal problem. The world was enormous and mostly empty. Food was unpredictable. Shelter was rare. A single wrong turn could mean death. So the brain needed a way to remember what worked. Not just facts, feelings, a memory that carried an emotional flag attached to it. This cave kept us warm. This river fed us. This person kept us safe. That emotional flag is what you now call nostalgia. Psychologist Konstantin Sedekidis, who has spent over 2 decades studying this exact emotion, found that nostalgia is not primarily triggered by happiness. It is triggered by threat, cold rooms, lonely moments, uncertain futures. Your brain reaches backward precisely when the present feels unstable. Here is the twist almost nobody expects. Nostalgia does not just comfort you, it orients you. Sedekidis and his research partner Tim Wildschut discovered that nostalgic memories consistently follow a pattern. They are social. They involve other people, a parent, a friend, a group around a fire. Rarely do people feel nostalgic for being alone. This is not random. For early humans, isolation was often fatal. A lone hunter-gatherer had a fraction of the survival odds of someone embedded in a group. So, the brain built a homing signal. Whenever you drift too far from connection, nostalgia pulls you back toward the people and places that once kept you protected. It is less a photograph and more a compass. Now think about smell. Of all your senses, smell is the one most likely to summon nostalgia instantly. A specific perfume, rain on pavement, someone's kitchen. This is not poetic coincidence. The olfactory bulb, the part of your brain that processes smell, sits directly next to the hippocampus and amygdala, the regions responsible for memory and emotion. No other sense has this close a wiring. Anthropologists studying early human environments believe this shortcut evolved, because smell was often the first warning system available. Smoke meant fire. Rot meant danger. Certain plants meant food nearby. Your ancestors needed emotional memory to fire before conscious thought could catch up. That ancient shortcut is why one smell can undo you in half a second, decades later.
But nostalgia is not only about the past. Psychologist Christine Bacho, who has researched this emotion for over 25 years, found something unexpected. People who experienced nostalgia more frequently often report greater optimism about their future. Not less. This seems backward at first. How does looking back create hope going forward? The answer lies in what nostalgia actually retrieves. It rarely brings up neutral facts. It brings up moments of resilience. Times you were held. Times you survived something hard and came out the other side. Your brain is not just reminiscing. It is reminding you that you have overcome difficulty before. That is a template for coping, not just a memory of comfort. This is where the story gets counterintuitive. If nostalgia is a survival mechanism, why does it hurt so much? Why does it come with a tight chest and a lump in your throat? Researchers describe this as bittersweet effect, a blended emotional state that is neither fully happy nor fully sad. Neuroscience studies using brain imaging show that nostalgic recall activates both the brain's reward circuitry and regions associated with loss processing simultaneously. This dual activation is rare. Most emotions are cleaner than that, but nostalgia needs both signals working together. The reward tells you this mattered. Seek connection, like it again. The ache tells you this is gone. Do not become complacent.
Comfort alone would make you passive. Pain alone would make you avoid the memory entirely. Together, they move you. Now look at your own life through this lens. That craving for a decade you didn't even fully enjoy while living through it. That urge to rewatch a childhood show that was, objectively, not very good. That is not weakness. That is your ancestral compass, firing in a world it was never built for. Ancient humans experienced nostalgia in small, tight-knit groups, triggered by real physical places and real physical people they could return to. You experience it scrolling through a feed of 500 acquaintances, triggered by a filtered photo of a moment that already has a caption written for it. The mechanism is unchanged. The environment around it has completely transformed. No wonder it feels so intense and so unsatisfying at the same time. So the next time a song stops you mid-step, or an old photo tightens your chest, notice what is actually happening. This is not your mind malfunctioning. This is 50,000 years of survival architecture, still running, still trying to protect you the only way it knows how. It is not asking you to live in the past. It is pointing you toward what has always kept you alive. Connection, resilience, people worth returning to. You were scrolling through old photos. A song came on, and for a moment, you understood exactly why.